right. I think we're good to go. While I'm looking at myself, though, it's kind of weird. I know my ears aren't like the right level. They're not equal on both sides. When my glasses are tilted, it makes it look like my eyes aren't necessarily at the same level. It looks like this one is like higher than this one, which I don't think is true. Maybe it's a little true. I don't know. Wow, I don't know if that's the light or if it's just I have massive bags under my eyes and I need sleep. Okay, let's minimize that so I'm done analyzing my own face. All right, hello. Welcome. How are things today? On my side, I guess it was all right. I think I have a topic to at least talk a little bit about thanks to something that happened today. Of course, work related. Sorry if I talk about that a bit. It's just, do it Monday through Friday, so I have something to talk about. So I mentioned that I'm a developer, and one of those things that I think over time you just sort of incur more and more responsibilities. And one of those for us is sort of access to high privilege environments. For those not in the development space, we'll call like our live code that people actively interact with production. And before that, it's just various test environments. But being able to interact with that production machine or that production environment is a highly privileged thing. Like, you don't let people in there because if something even little goes wrong, that could take down everything. And it can happen pretty easily. You can just change one little setting or one little word of text in some file somewhere and poof, it's just gone for everybody. So having that access is kind of, I don't know, a little, I've never liked having it. I'll put it that way. It's one of those, I feel, almost kind of necessary evils. Some people need to be able to take a look at those environments and work with them, but I don't think anybody particularly likes having to do it, especially if it's not their typical like line of work and what they do. It's not something that they would do. It's not in their job description. And that's one of the things that I have. It's nothing I was never told I'd have to do. It's something that never shows up in anything that are like, here's your new position, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be doing this now. It's just one day they're like, hey, do you want to fix this? Here's credentials for a very important environment. So when we get to the end of years like this, people start taking more vacation time. And there's chances that like most of the people who would interact with those environments are out at around the same time. Normally that's an easier thing to work around, but on top of that, one of the people who does have that access is also having a baby. He's not going to be around for like that entire from like end of November to beginning of January timeframe. And good for him. He should be spending time with his new kid and stuff, and we should be taking up a bit of that responsibility. So instead of everybody just being able to take the vacation that they would normally do, it's more like, okay, everyone's probably going to be out, but we need to be ready to jump in. And if something does happen, actually respond while we're not in office. So that kind of gets into how people treat vacation time. And generally it's a scheduling thing, and you should be aware of how that's working. And in situations like these, you just have to kind of deal with it. But I got to sort of put on my employees should, or just people in general should value their vacation time, which I'm totally behind. Like, if you've got it, you've earned it. It's a part of what you get working at a place, and people should respect that. And one of the things that came out of these meetings is like, well, what if we just need to? You shouldn't feel bad. It's a part of your job. And I was like, that's absolutely not true. Sacrificing vacation time to work on something that other people should have the ability to work on is not a part of any job description. You take your vacation, you earned it, you take that vacation. So that was one of those things. And just recognizing that when you do have it, do use it. Not like, saying you have to use everything the way that like other people say, but it's there for you to kind of treat yourself sort of mentally. You need that time away from your work. You can't constantly be doing it. You can't always be on call, and being able to have that time to go away is a very important thing. You don't just have to do anything special with it. You don't have to like go across the country or travel around the world or anything like that. It's fine enough to say, I'm just going to go for a walk in the woods. I've done that plenty of times. But taking that time seriously and not letting other people belittle that time is incredibly important, especially with how like fast-paced everything is these days. It's so easy for people to say, well, it's just this, or I'm doing this much and you should be doing this much too. And that's just not true. Value your mental health, value your own time, and the things that you've like rightfully earned as a part of your contract with a place. Use it. And don't be afraid to use it. And just in general, value that. So that's kind of my spiel. At least I tell that to the people who work for me. I like it when people use that time instead of saying, well, I'm going to keep it and then I'm going to cash it out. But I don't know. I feel like, yes, it is that amount of time, and it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, we're going to pay for you just to be away for a day. And you could just say, well, just give me a day's worth of my pay. But there's just something about being able to take that time and unwind and relax that, at least to me, feels a bit more important than getting that day's worth of like physical money. That recharge time is just very important. But I digress. That's probably enough to just chat about today. Hopefully that ended up being mildly coherent. If not, maybe at least mildly entertaining. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Tomorrow's rehearsal won't be here, but should be back on Thursday for another one of these. So, if you are tuning in, then hope to see you then. See ya.